Greetings, beautiful viewers. This is Smitten. Welcome to How to Fail at Smite, my original Smite series where I pick up a new god for the first time and poke fun at how I play so that both of us can learn from my mistakes. Episode 19, Bacchus. One thing that I've always loved about Smite, once you hit level 5, everyone uses their ult, no matter the situation, no matter if it picks up a kill, it's just time to use it. For this game, my lane composition looks like this. Me and Hercules against Youre and Sun Wukong. Since Herc is almost dead, we head down the lane to relieve some of the pressure. But I don't want Monkey to think that I'm threatened by his puny overhand smash, so I turn around and throw my ult in his face. My job in this situation as a tank is to distract people from killing my carries or squishies, but this Hercules seems hell-bent on proving himself a man. That is until both the Frost Giant and Monkey start to move in on him, but since I'm frozen and sliding forward in the middle of Monkey's fireworks, I'm unable to distract them. After Monkey takes out Herc, I decide to take a few swings at them but fall back to my tower. There's no way that I'm going to let them get free shots on my tower and take out my lane mate, just no. What's this? You think you're bad? Yeah, you do. Come into my tower. I don't have anything to throw at you, and I should be backing. A second wave of enemy minions moves in, and I'm not even phased. For this game, I actually bought Hand of the Gods to deal with situations just like this. And the sight of a juicy line of archers is just too much to resist, so I move up and try to Hand of Gods them, but Sun Wukong picks me off anyways. Whatever, I was close. Chapter 1. The reason why everyone hates Hercules. And we're back. At 10 minutes into the game, Herc and I are doing pretty well for ourselves. We've just taken down a tower, and I guess the way that he celebrates his victory is by laughing. Sun Wukong comes bounding into the lane and immediately starts to go after Hercules. I start to back off a little bit as I'm nearly dead, but I remember that I have a responsibility, to drink and to get others drunk. Monkey's fireworks briefly disorient me, but Hercules is a madman. He's balls deep in enemy minions and swinging away at Wukong. It's alright, Hercules, I got you. I will inebriate him and then you can club him to death. What? What did you just do? Well, for starters, you just let Monkey escape with his life, and now Ymire's back. We're both almost dead. Alright, it's okay. We'll talk about this later. Right now, I need to distract Youre from punching your face in. Hey Youre, look over here. I'm such an easy target, come here. Okay, you don't care at all. I follow the Youre into the jungle where I see everyone coming in for a good old-fashioned brawl. Since most of my team is here, I figure they can handle this. I don't have any mana or health. Okay, fine. I join the fray by belch stunning Youre, trying to peel them off of Hercules, but Anubis takes him out anyways. I avenge my lane mate as I jump in and squash Anubis to death, but as I'm frozen, Apollo takes his free shots on me and picks up the kill. Chapter 2, Using Your Ultimate Effectively. Alright, time to whittle away at this tower. First, let me take care of this pack of minions. Got it. Okay, I thought that surely Sun Wukong would try to take me on, since I'm the one out of position, but once again Hercules is his target. My ult gets cancelled out, and I use the last of my mana trying to stun Wukong. But Monkey realizes he's taking too much damage from the archers and pulls us away from them. We zigzag down the lane trading hits when I guess Monkey sees our new minion wave and heads his way into the jungle. It would be the perfect time to botch my ult. That's it, there is no way he's slipping through our fingers again. I jump forward to cut off his escape path and stun him next to his buff camp, where he thinks he's safe. Neither Herc nor I can take the heat from the buff camp, but Herc has us covered and throws his boulder in to pick up the kill. I have to admit, that was pretty impressive. Chapter 3, Drunk and Overly Aggressive. So a few moments later, Youre shows up wanting to scare us off his nearly dead tower. I'm pretty sure Herc is gonna die to that Youre ult, but it surprises me when he dashes out of range. He takes his sweet time laughing while I'm trying to fend off the minions and Youre. Alright champ, it's time to get some work done. Youre starts taking some serious damage and attempts to freeze his assailant, but gets driven back and stunned. He slows us with his ice carpet and gets saved from being knocked back by his ice wall. He's so close to dying. If I could just get in there, he's done for. Herc moves in and takes a shot from the tower. I see my opportunity. I use the last of my mana to dive in and get frozen immediately. I'm taking tower hits, minion hits, and Sun Wukong comes in at the opportune time to get credit for the kill. Chapter 4, Know When You're Ahead. And now for a pet peeve of mine, needless surrender votes. Okay, if you're feeling the itch to press F6, do your team a favor. First, look at the scoreboard. Are you drastically behind in kills or gold? Second, take a look at your minimap. Have they taken down most of your towers? Only after assessing these things should you consider the white flag. In the case of this game, we were up 2 kills, 2k gold, and none of our towers were down. Now is not the time to give up. Chapter 5, Sometimes Persistence Pays Off. Nothing is more scary or makes you run away faster than being interrupted while trying to take down a tower by Bacchus' ult. Apparently we have harassed these guys enough to where they were afraid of me. I used Hand of the Gods and the archers and turned my attention to the ogres who were distracted by my minions. I did it! I saved my tower! Hercules arrives just in time to laugh at how long it was taking me to kill off the remaining minions, and we turn to pursue Youre and Wukong. I take the shortcut through the jungle to keep an eye on Hercules. I see him get frozen, and I know that I have to get my tubby ass in there. I think I've made the enemy think that I have abandoned Hercules to fight alone, because as I round the corner, they're wailing on him. I think about jumping in, but wait for Youre's ult to finish before making my presence known with the belch of the gods. He thinks he's free, but I deliver him straight into the hands of Agni, who takes him out with Flame Wave and gets the double kill on Youre. Anubis comes into the scene just a little too late to save his companions and immediately sees what a mistake it was to be here. Hercules uses Driving Strike to stun Anubis under his tower, and when I try to follow up with it, I get mummified in the tower. Anubis makes it back to his Phoenix, and that may be enough to ward off my team, but not me. I'm a tank. I can take a few tower hits if that means I can kill this puppy. With Anubis out of the picture, I wobble victoriously through their middle Phoenix, feeling quite proud of how that one turned out. I turn into their jungle and see Agni being chased by minions and pause to help him out, when all of a sudden we see Athena run in and just stop. We take advantage of the situation and start beating up on her. That was a really bad time to decide to type to your teammates. Chapter 6. Desperately trying to be a hero. We're all contesting mid lane when Herc barely escapes the tower with his life and peels off towards Gold Fury with Youre and Apollo in hot pursuit. As Athena starts dropping in to crash the party, our golden Youre and I scare Apollo off Herc's trail, and I stick around to keep the pair separated from my comrades in the jungle. Luckily for my team, they pop Girdle and Might to try to burst down old Bacchus when I leap to position myself in front of Agni as he rounds the corner, leaving my adversaries in a drunken stupor. Trying to lead them away from Agni and the fight in the jungle, I rush towards middle lane, only to find that Agni dashed right between the pair, forcing me to circle back around and try to defend my squishy. My leap is off cooldown and I'm ready to disengage at any moment, but Agni sticks around trying to defend me. I'm trying to buy him time for his escape, but Anubis wraps me up before we can both make it to the tower. Chapter 7. Bacchus is too fat to be sneaky. Herc drops dead in mid lane as I make my way back into the fight, concealing myself in the jungle in case our opponents think it's time to engage. But seeing as the minions can surely see me giving them vision, I decide to go balls to the wall and leap onto my opponents and intoxicate them, just as Youre goes in for the freeze. A nice counter freeze by their Youre stops my belch, preventing the stun, but that won't save poor old Anubis, who I whack mercilessly until Agni drops a bomb on him. That just leaves the cleanup, and our golden Youre marches forth, freezing them in place as Neith picks off Youre. His last minute wall, however, does prevent my team from following, and I definitely don't have the damage to take down Apollo alone, but just as I try to belly flop onto where I think he's trying to dash, he mezzes me, leaving me to sit quietly to think about what I've done. Chapter 8. P is for Pinata. Herc is back up and as ballsy as ever, leading the charge into the Phoenix. As I was trying to push up right lane, I belly flop in a middle lane just in time to intoxicate Youre and Apollo, and Herc interrupts my belch with his driving strike that murdered my target. With Apollo dead, our opponents fall back towards their Minotaur, and I think it's time to take down a Phoenix, but Hercules drops in on Anubis and kills him off as well, as I discover I'm not the greatest at taking down packs of minions, or towers. My team begins to withdraw as I continue to bash on the Phoenix, hoping to serve as an example, before noticing Agni is frozen and targeted by the Phoenix. Just as I move to assist, Hercules stuns their Youre into a wall with Driving Strike, and I ready my belch to keep the stuns rolling, but a well-timed Aegis saves his life, allowing Wukong to drop his ult and ward us off. That monkey overplayed his hand and overextended against my highly aggressive team. He found out that retreat is just another word to attack in the other direction as he's chain stunned before finding himself on the receiving end of my belly flop and a well-timed smack to the face as he dies under a Phoenix to a fat drunkard. His last moments were spent dishonoring his ancestors as the might of the turkey leg forces the enemy team to surrender. A good game to the enemy team and a good game and well played to my allies. Sometimes aggressive play doesn't always work out, but this time it played out to our advantage. After several games recorded, this was the one with the most fail and win in it. Bacchus was tons of fun to play. Get it? Tons of fun? I mean, he really has way too many ways to CC a lane or a team fight and can take hits if built properly. I really can't wait to play another game with him. And now for the juicy bits. Bacchus' passive is the Drunkometer. When tipsy, he gains 5 physical power and reduces damage taken by 5%. And when smashed, he gains 15 physical power and reduces damage taken by 10%. Simple. His number 1 ability is Chug. This is the primary way he fills his Drunkometer. Each time activated, he fills his Drunkometer by 22 to 46% and gains 15 to 35 protections. The other way to fill the Drunkometer is for him to personally kill an enemy god, which gives him 10%. Throw a point into this at level 1. Spend some time drinking in the fountain before heading out and max it first, as it really helps preserve your mana the faster this gets maxed. His second ability is Belly Flop, the now more delayed jump that applies a knockback and a 20% slow for 2 seconds if Bacchus was at least tipsy when the ability was activated. Always be drinking. This also deals 90 to 250 magical damage, scaled by 70% of his magical power. Throw a point into this at level 2 and max it last. Belch of the Gods is his third ability, which is a frontal cone burp, which deals 20 to 80 magical damage every 0.5 seconds for 2 seconds, scaled by 15% of his magical power. If done while tipsy, he stuns any enemies caught in the radius for 1 second and debuffs their healing by 25% for 3 seconds. Throw a point into this at level 4 and max it second. And of course, always be drinking. His ultimate is Intoxicate, the most annoying CC in the game, and packing 250 to 550 magical damage, scaled by 70% of his magical power, while intoxicating all enemies for 8 seconds, causing them to stagger about for what feels like forever. It also buffs Bacchus' physical power by 20 to 60 for 5 seconds if he is smashed when he uses it. Generally, the way you'll want to use this is after you've initiated with Belly Flop and follow that up with Belch of the Gods to help your team secure the kills. However, there are instances where saving this ability can come in handy later on in a teamfight when folks are trying to line up those pesky skill shots while on the move. Throw a point into this each time it's up. For items, he's a tank, so you'll be completely responsive to your opponents, but here's some suggestions on what you could build for. Start off with Mark of the Vanguard in Bacchus' case. This is extra effective if you're keeping your Drunkometer filled, as it reduces damage taken by 10% on top of what Vanguard already provides. Next, pick up Reinforced Boots, and at that point, I say your core build is done. Some choices to go for next would be Gem of Isolation to make all of your abilities that much more effective at controlling your opponents. Wall of Absolution if physical damage is your primary concern, as it gives 15 MP5 when completed to help compensate for the constant drinking. Or Voidstone if you're up against some pesky mages and want to bring the pain back to them. If you're facing a lot of physical damage, you could pick up Hide of the Nemean Line for obvious reasons, Breastplate of Valor for additional mana and cooldown reduction, or Mystical Mark for additional health and an easier time clearing minions. Against magical damage, you should definitely go for Bulwark of Hope for the additional HP and damage reduction, and Stone of Gaia for the 70 magical protection and the additional HP and MP5. If their team has a few healers present and you can spare a slot for an additional magical power item, pick up Divine Ruin, as this in combination with Belch of the Gods helps reduce healing done to your target by 75%. However, this item is extremely situational. In any event, I still recommend picking up Gem of Isolation whenever you can fit it in, as it simply rocks with Bacchus. And so concludes the guide on Bacchus. If we tickled your fancy, make sure to rate and subscribe for upcoming videos. You can also come hang out with us on Facebook and Twitter. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch to see us streaming live. Links in the description. Feel free to leave your suggestions on how to play this god, as well as any feedback you have for us in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, I'm Smitten, and I'll see you next time.
Good game. Bye.